Okay, you're seeing all these signs and these synchronicities, and you want to know, what do they mean? What does that mean for me? Okay, and today I'm going to share with you a powerful way to understand what these signs mean to you, how you can tap into your higher self. Okay, because see, right now we're going through a crazy time. Okay, there's massive change happening. I don't know if you're feeling it, but over the past month, I've felt unbelievably powerful energies. The signs and the synchronicities have just been going crazy because we are in new energies, and it's time for us to stop playing small. In the past, I let what other people thought or, you know, hinder me and stop me from stepping into my true power. I was scared of being judged, but no more. Because the reality is, what other people think about me has nothing to do with me. And also, in most cases, if that person was to disappear out my life, I would not care. So why am I letting what they think bother me? It's actually draining my energy. It's time to step into your own power, your own true nature and purpose. Okay, because you are activated. You are in new beginnings. You've always had the power, but you just didn't realize it. Okay, and this is the thing, that your power, it cannot be told to you. Okay, you have to realize it. You have to realize your power, your gifts, your uniqueness, and you have to understand what the messages mean to you. Okay, because let me ask you this, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for God or Archangel Michael or Archangel Gabriel to come and chap your door and say, right, let's go, the time is now, it's time to step into your power? Because that's not going to happen. Okay, it's not going to happen that way. You're going to be left breadcrumbs, signs, synchronicities, and you're going to have to decode them. Okay, because you have a responsibility. Okay, because you can do something that nobody else can do. You are powerful. Okay, so it's time to focus on who you are, what you can bring to this world. Because see, at the beginning of my journey, I was in bliss. It was all awe, and I loved it. I would see signs like 555 or a robin or a heron, and I would immediately jump on Google and I would look up what's the spiritual meaning of this, that, and the next thing. And I would get these generic answers that really didn't apply to my situation. I was constantly seeking answers outside of myself, and I was never looking inwards because the reality was I doubted myself. I was still operating in my unconscious beliefs. And these beliefs, we all have them. And at one point in our life, we needed them. They kept us safe. But right now, we no longer need them, so we can let them go and we can step into our true power. Okay, these were the beliefs of, I'm not good enough, I don't have the ability, I'm not worthy, I don't belong, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but see, not long into my journey, it must have been about 6 or 7 months, I had my safety blanket pulled from me. Okay, and at that moment in time, I was so scared. I was alone. I thought, I can't do this. I can't do it alone. I need the guidance. I need the assistance. I need this. I don't have the power. And the truth was, it was the best thing that ever happened to me because I had to build a belief in myself. I had to start looking inwards because we all have the power within us. We just don't believe it yet. And if we're constantly seeking guidance or wisdom from outside of ourselves, then we will find it difficult to grow spiritually. Okay, and this is why a lot of light workers, starseeds, the chosen ones, they get forced into isolation at some point because they need to see the power they truly possess. And by isolation, I don't mean themselves. For me, I still had my family around me, but I felt isolated because I was too scared to speak about things because of being judged or being criticised or being made to feel like I was crazy. So I was locked in my own little cocoon, and it was lonely, and it was, it was fearful, but it gave me the time to really go inwards. And this is, if this resonates with you, then this is your time. It's your time to rise up and tap into your power. The days of dimming your light are gone. It's time to bring out who you truly are and be unapologetic for it. Okay, so how can we tap in to this inner power? How can we decipher the signs that we're getting? Okay, what we have to do is we have to start listening to ourselves. So how do we do that? We tap into our intuition. Okay, now intuition, that's your higher self, your super conscious, your God within, whatever phrase you want to use. Your intuition has been guiding you your whole life, and a lot of the time you might not have listened to it. It used to speak to me all the time. Before I would go on a bender, it would say, "No, don't do that." I used to have this uneasy feeling of when I was going to do something wrong that I knew I wasn't supposed to do, and I would have this feeling saying, "This isn't, you shouldn't be doing it," but I would do it anyway, and then I would get into some sort of trouble. That happened my whole life, so it's always been there. But whether you've listened to it or not has been a different thing, and that's because you've been running through, unconscious beliefs. Okay, see, because before we wake up, we are living in perception, which is your belief system, how you appreciate, what you believe about the world. Okay, because perception is the lens which you see, you interpret, and you make sense of everything that's going on around about you. Okay, and I'm not just talking about your physical senses, I'm talking about your beliefs, your attitudes, your perspectives. Now, our perception is not objective representation of reality. It's a subjective construct based on our past experiences, our conditions, and our beliefs. Okay, and that's based on the past. And is that a good way to live your life? No, it's not. Because we're going forward, we're not looking behind us. Okay, and see, we are in our thoughts and feelings. Now, our thoughts and feelings aren't real. We feel them and we think them, but they're not a real representation of reality. And the reason is because these thoughts and feelings, we need them because the ego has to know how it is so it can operate here. Okay, so the ego, the rational mind, it refers to the beliefs for orientation. Okay, so how do we get out of that? We have to let go of the need to know. Because when we don't need to know, we suspend our need to understand. Then we go into our genius mode of awareness. Okay, when we go into innocence. Okay, and I don't know if you've ever heard of innocence, but innocence is in no sense. It's a state of awe outside of your thoughts and feelings. It's that when you see your first sunset or when you see a newborn baby, that's a representation of innocence. Okay, and the way that I go into innocence is I meditate, I drop into my heart and I focus on my heart, or there's a meditation I go on a journey and I just imagine my children when they were babies in their cots, because that's a pure representation of innocence. But it's dropping into your heart space, letting go of the need to know, letting go of having to have the answers. Okay, and that's the bridge to intuition. And when we step into our intuition, that's a mode of awareness which is informed by the connection to everything around us, all through all time and space. Now, the condition of innocence, it's not childish, but it's childlike. If you think of a child when they're, 1, 2, and the sense of awe for the simplest little things. Okay, so it's childlike. It's that sense of awe. Okay, it's a very empowered state of mind, and it's been revered throughout the whole of history. It's powerful stuff, not baby stuff. It's where the real power is, and that's where you want to get into. Okay, in innocence is a deeper sense of awareness, where things occur to you that normally don't occur. And that's where your signs come in. When you're getting these signs, this is what I mean. So I'm going to go through it and explain for you how to tap into your intuition. Okay, because it really puts you into a deeper awareness, a deeper appreciation, a place where you can receive insight and more guidance. Okay, so how do we really step in and tap into our intuition? Now, there's 3 steps. I'm going to go over them. Okay, so the first step is innocence, where you're getting into that childlike state, where you're dropping into your heart. Okay, just letting go of the need to know and understand and, think of all the answers. So when you get a sign or a synchronicity or something happens, depending on where you are, but a lot of the time is you want to figure out, or you want to understand what's going through or what's happened in that moment, because everybody will get different signs for different reasons. Okay, but if you can drop into that place of innocence, and then the next stage, which is called observe the obvious, okay, and then it's make it up. So I'll go through it. So it's innocence, observe the obvious, and make it up. Okay, and I'll go deeper into these right now, right? So intuition, you've got 3 steps, right? The first step is you go into innocence, which widens your awareness so that you can be more receptive of what's outside your normal perspective of anything. Okay, and the dictionary definition of intuition is what the mind immediately apprehends before rationalizing it. Okay, so the second part of tapping into your intuition is to observe the obvious. Now, this is very important because we normally chop out the obvious because it doesn't fit in, because it's not in our realm of our beliefs or our perception. Okay, so you have to acknowledge what's there, even if it doesn't make sense. Okay, because your mind is always trying to make sense of things. But if you want to tap into your intuition and live super consciously and, tap into your power, then you got to stop trying to make sense of things. As long as you're trying to make sense of things, you're not in your intuition and you will miss the sign. Okay, if you deny the obvious, then you're gonna miss the interpretation of the sign. Okay, so the first step is to step into innocence. The second is to acknowledge whatever is there and just own it, accept it. Okay, or it will vanish. Okay, now for example, I mentioned this in another video, right? So if I'm doing intuitive reading, right? So I'll step into innocence, I'll go into my meditation and I'll step into innocence and I'll ask. So if I've got an end result, if I'm looking to get an answer for something, that's my intention. My intention is to receive the clarification or the answer of this. That's my end result. I'll step into innocence, I'll ask for a sign, and then a sign will immediately come to me. Okay, now I've been doing this for years, so I can drop into the state quite quickly. But it's whatever the sign is, it doesn't matter what it is. And it's the same if you see a sign and you step into innocence, so 555, okay, and you see the sign and you drop into innocence. What's obvious about that? And you'll have some sense, some feeling, something that will pop up. Okay, so if you don't go with what's immediately obvious, it will vanish. Okay, so, and that's not the end of it, right? Because see, intuition, it's another language completely. It doesn't speak in your native tongue, English or whatever it is. Okay, that's perception. Okay, but that's not the language of intuition. And some of it will come with some real tangible impressions, but mostly not. Most of it will come in what I call symbolism. You'll get a visual impression, you'll get a sense of things, a gut feeling, a snippet of something. You'll get a vague impression which you then have to acknowledge. You have to observe and see those impressions, and then you have to unpack it. And when you unpack it, you have to make it up. Yes, that's right. You make it up. Okay, and that literally means you make up what that means to you. And this is where people freak out. Okay, people go on about imagination, and what do you think imagination is? What's the primary expression of your imagination other than making things up? Authors use it to write books. Okay, musicians use it to write songs. People who do opera or symphonies use it to create masterpieces. Architects use it to build buildings. Okay, they make it up. They take a leap of logic and make it up. So you have to use your imagination to make it up. Whatever the sense is, you have to try and unpack that. You have to find out what is true to you. You make it up and it will come true because that's your psychic generator. Your imagination is what connects you to everything through all time and space. Okay? Everything in this world had to be created twice. First in the invisible imagination and then in the visible reality. Everything, wheels, pens, phones, bikes, cars. Someone had to make it up. And every great invention that has been created, the inventor was initially thought to be crazy because it was outside of what people thought was possible, outside based on their beliefs. Okay? So intuition is what the mind immediately apprehends before rationalizing it. So the first step, you go into innocence. The second step, which innocence is a childlike state, the second step is observe what immediately comes to you. Okay? Whether that's a feeling, a gut feeling, a visual representation, observe what is obvious. Okay? And don't think about it. Okay? It's just whatever's obvious, the first thing that comes to you. And then the third step is make it up. So you have to decipher the subtle energies with your genius. Now, this will take practice. Okay, it took me quite a bit of time to practice this, and I've been on several different courses. But if you and some people will have a more heightened intuition than me, but this will take practice. But when you can master this, it will change your life. Okay, now some pointers here. Okay, so what works and what doesn't work, right? So when you're going to do this, you want to choose the end result of what you're trying to uncover. Okay, so whatever it is, okay, choose the end result. Okay, so you set the intention, I want to uncover X, Y, or Z. Okay, always go back into the innocence, right? So embody the creative child. Okay, go with the first thing you get, whatever it is, just go with it. Okay, and then just observe and stay with the obvious. Okay, what's obvious about this? Okay, what is obvious about this? And then always assume there's more and be specific. Okay, and yes, this might be a little bit difficult to get your head round because it's outside of what you believe, but please believe me, it works. Okay, it doesn't matter what you get. If you get it, it's what you've got. Make it up. Okay, what does it mean to you? Not Jimmy or Sarah. What does it mean to you? Okay, it doesn't matter, just make it up. When you become self-referential, you become powerful. Okay, see, you're not causing this to happen. It's already happening. You can just see it. See, your intuition is connected to your heart. Okay, now some people might look at the heart of this soppy thing with love and all that, but your heart is one of the most powerful things that you possess. Innocence is the most powerful state you can ever come from, and it's connected to your heart. Your heart is not mushy. Okay, it's definitely not mushy, it's powerful. And this is where we have to drop into it and just, when we are going in for our intuition, see what we get, drop into innocence, childlike state, observe the obvious, and just make it up. Okay, that's how we access our intuition. And when you practice this more and you get better at it, it will come very quickly. Okay, but I encourage you to always go back into the inner child, the child in innocence. Okay, the child that you connect with. Okay, imagine and letting go of everything, empty your mind out. Because innocence is emptiness, it's an empty state of mind, it's a receptive state of mind. So when we go into innocence, we let go of the need to know, we let go of the need to understand, we allow ourselves to be empty and not know. Okay, it's not a matter of you must know. It's a matter of I'm letting go of the need to know. And when you do that, you will allow what's supposed to come in, come in. Now, I hope that has landed and makes sense, but there's other ways that you can tap into your intuition, and I'll go through some other ways. Like, for example, what I used to do in the beginning was my pendulum. So I would ask the pendulum a question. I would say, first of all, I'd say, show me a yes. See, it shows me a yes and it's going forward. And then I'll say, show me a no. See, and it's going left to right. And then I would ask the question, but you're just getting yes or no answers. But when you start to progress and you start to understand what you're getting and you're starting to understand your intuition, you're starting to trust in yourself. And it's not even about trust, it's just going with what you get because you have the ability, you have the power. It's just going to take a bit of practice. Okay, and then you can decipher the signs when they come to you. So if you're getting a sign, you take a moment, you just take a moment, drop into the inner child, and then see what pops up. So if you're seeing 555, okay, take a breath, drop into your heart, what comes up. And then you'll get a feeling, you'll get a visualization, or you'll get something. And then what does that mean to me? And that's all you have to say. That means to me, and just get the ball rolling. Because see, when you start, that's why I write a lot, because writing is a psychic accelerator. So that's why I do a lot of intuitive writing. But sometimes you're on the road, you don't have a pen and paper, you can type it into your phone, what that means to me. And then, and you don't think about it, you just allow it to kind of continuously go. And that's how you will start to decipher the signs that you get. And it's about knowing that you are a powerful creator. Okay? You are here to express who you truly are. Okay? Regardless of what other people might think. When you can step into your true nature and purpose, and you will understand your mission on this earth, and you will live a fulfilled existence. So I hope that's been useful. If there's any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm happy to answer anything. If there's any other videos, I will be doing more intuitive videos kind of down the line, because I think it's one of the most fundamental things when you're starting to live this spiritual life. It's about trusting. I hate saying the word trust, but it's about inner referencing, rather than trying to seek outside of you, because nobody knows what's going on inside of you. You want to be inner referential and just say, right, okay, what does that mean to me? And then you can decipher it. Okay? So listen, sending much love, family. I hope you all have a great day, and I hope that brought some value to any of you. If it did, please drop a like. Okay, subscribe to the channel, because I'm new on this journey and I'm very much out of my comfort zone. But you know what? I love doing these videos. They really do. I feel energized, and I know I'm not the best at it. Okay, but I will get better. So I would love to have you on this journey with me, and take care. Right, ciao for now.